Hey guys, Jacob Ober here. Welcome to my third episode of Brew Talk, and we're going to be discussing this past week in Brewers baseball. So this past week, the Brewers went on a road trip. They started in St. Louis, took 2 out of 3, and all 3 were very, very close games. Then they had a day off. Then they went to New York to face the Mets and lost that series. Lost 2 out of 3 in that series, including a walk-off home run by Wilmer Flores to beat the Brewers just yesterday. So all in all, it was a 500 road trip, and it wasn't really. There's a lot of ups and downs on it. The Brewers won some thrillers against St. Louis. They lost some close ones against the Mets. And they lost a really close one in the second game of the St. Louis series. They could have easily swept St. Louis and actually won this road trip, had a winning record on the road trip. But it's been quite an eventful past week for the Brewers. There's been a lot of injuries, especially with injuries to Manny Pena, who was just put on the 10-day DL. Eric Thames got injured last game. Ryan Braun got injured. Christian Yelich remains sidelined. I'm not sure if he's going to make his return or not tonight. I hope he does, but I'm kind of erring on the side of probably not. We'll have to see what happens, though, but Lorenzo Cain had some injury scares, and so did Domingo Santana. There's just been a lot of injuries with this group, and that's kind of concerning at this point in the season. Hopefully we can get everyone healthy very soon, and we can have this ball club back to full strength, but the Brewers are 8-8 now. They are still at 500, the same record that they were when I made my last episode of Brew Talk last Monday, when they were 5-5. It's still not anything to read too much into, guys. I mean, 8-8. I mean, the Nationals, the Cubs, the Dodgers, and the Yankees are all at 500 or below, and those are 4 of the best teams in the entire major leagues. Like, you just can't read too much into games, into stretches like this. And it's not like we're even below 500. We're 8-8, and we have a stretch of games against some of the weakest teams in the majors. We have a 3-game series against the Cincinnati Reds coming up tonight, and then we have the Miami Marlins coming into town for a 4-game series. So nothing to be too concerned about. I expect the Brewers to win quite a few games in this next week or so. It's going to be really fun to watch them. I hope that they can get it back together against these weaker teams, get some confidence, and hopefully get some guys back from the DL, starting with Yelich. We haven't seen in quite some time now. He's been out, 11 or 12 days now. The last game he played, I think, was the first game of the Cubs series that we ended up losing 3-1. No, it might have been the game of... Yeah, it was the first game of that, yeah. But, I mean... Getting this ball club healthy is the number one priority for the team right now. It's good that the Brewers weren't rushing Yelich back, and if he misses tonight, so be it, but I expect him to be back for the Red Series. Hopefully they can get everyone healthy, and at full strength, this ball club is going to be very good, and I really think that this 8-8 start is an aberration. The Brewers are going to be much better than they have been over the first 16 games of the season. Once we get into the summer months, then we'll start seeing blossoming, I'm sure. Some takeaways, though, from this past road trip. The pitching was still kind of up and down. We got some good performances out of Chase Anderson. We got some bad out of Chacin, who was still really struggling. I'm not really sure what the Brewers are planning to do with the 5th starter at this point. It's kind of been a rotation, kind of. There have been some guys making some spot starts here and there. I mean, I'm not really sure the timetable for Jimmy Nelson's return. I think at the very best we can expect Jimmy Nelson back by June, but I mean that's a long ways off. So the Brewers are going to just have to make do without that. Today, actually, the Brewers, with them sending Manny Pena to the 10-day DL, they have called up Jacob Nottingham, who is a very high ranked prospect for them. He's probably going to be backing up Jet Bandy now behind the home plate. That'll be interesting to see. I'm not really sure what to think of Jacob Nottingham. I heard that he wasn't doing that great in the minors, but I'm not sure how he's doing right now. It'll be interesting to see how he does. I'd like to see him get a couple of starts in his time up here. That'd be nice to see. Jet Bandy's been playing pretty well, actually. He had a home run against the Mets in the second game of the 3-game series that we played them in. Overall, though, the Cubs playing about 500 ball. It's about what you expect right now with the way they're playing. Like to see some more offensive production as well. They haven't been really scoring that many runs. The most runs I feel like we've scored all season long is like 5 maybe. I think we might have scored more in the Padres series, but I mean, we haven't been scoring a lot of runs. The bullpen has been fantastic, really, with the exception of trying to find a closer, which I personally think should be Josh Hader. I don't care what you tell me about his valuable middle inning relief. That guy is clearly the best pitcher in the bullpen right now, and he needs to be closing games. And I don't want to keep blowing games like this. He did earn a save against the Mets on a 6-out save against the Mets in the second game of the 3-game series. That was pretty cool. He struck out 5 of 6, I believe. Man, he's racking up the Ks. He has 22 strikeouts and 34 batters faced, I think, now. That's pretty impressive, and he's only given up the 1 earned run, which was a home run to, I believe it was Tommy Pham. But overall, this team still got a very, very long ways to go. So, like I said, don't read too much into it. If the Brewers are still playing 500 baseball and summer starts rolling around, then you should start worrying. But I mean, I really think that the Brewers are going to get it back on track against these weaker ball clubs this week. If they don't, then that might be some cause for concern. If they go 500 against these teams, or if they go below 500 against them, that would be cause for concern. But I think they're going to get it back on track. I expect them to win at least 5 of 7 in the 7-game homestand. So we'll have to see what happens, but I'll be back with you guys on next Monday, to recap the Marlins and the Reds series and the homestand. So we'll have to see what happens. But anyways, that's all I have to say for this episode of Brew Talk. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Obersports41512, and I'll see you guys next time.